is Wednesday, my dudes.
Welcome to another episode of Wednesday Toast, the podcast about comic book stuff where we talk about all kinds of comic book related stuff. My name is Lex, and I'm here with my co-host Simon. Simon, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up?
It's so weird saying that. I feel like we haven't talked in a month, so I haven't had a chance to do the whole spiel.
Yeah, man. That's how Lex intros every conversation with me, though. It's real weird. Just in case.
Yeah, even in public settings, like when I introduce him to new people, or he introduces me to new people, that's what it just automatically comes out.
Yeah. But
What
hey,
can I say?
you always have to be prepared.
I'm a creature of habit, so there's that. What's been going on with you?
Not a lot. I just been hanging out. I feel overwhelmed by action figures, so I started going through all my stuff. And like most things, I'm kind of a hoarder when it comes to that. So I sit here and I'm like, well, maybe that, maybe that, maybe that. And then take it out on the shelf or off the shelf, and I go and get the box, and I'm like, I don't know, it's pretty cool though. This is pretty neat. I
You
don't
start
know if
getting
I can get rid of it.
ideas. You start getting
Yeah.
ideas of, like, pictures that you could take with it.
Yeah, there's like this weird thing that happens with like there's some figures you get and you get an immediate idea, but there's some things they just come out when they come out, you know? And so it's like I was telling you earlier, I got the Berserk guts, but I don't think it might be the Griffin or the Hawk's guts.
Mm.
It's like the version before he's like the Black Knight or whatever. And so that just charged and it should be coming to my house at some point. But I was like, I don't need that right now. I don't have any ideas for that, but it's going to be here. I just got Ganondorf from Tears of the Kingdom. It's pretty awesome. It's huge, but I just put it on the shelf because I don't like, I'm doing other stuff right now. I'm not going to tear all this down just to do something that'll work for that. Anyway, it can feel overwhelming at times because you start thinking about all the things you're not using and like, why buy more when I've got these and I haven't even taken a picture, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Have you completely, disassociated with Marvel Legends and DC figures, McFarlane figures?
No, not entirely. There's still some that I got Captain Cold because I kept seeing it at Best Buy and it looked really neat. And so I waited for it to go on sale because it was like $30. His deluxe or whatever figures are like $30. And to me, that is way too much money for a McFarlane. And so I waited, but eventually it went on sale and I got it. And it is cool. It's not like my favorite. I almost bought a David Corn Sweat the other day.
You know, I was about to say that. Spoiler alert, on this episode of the podcast, we're talking about Superman, James Gunn's recent restart of the DCU, specifically Superman. I wanted some of the characters from the Superman movie, but I just don't like them, man. I think I was at Walmart yesterday just to see if they had any, and they had a ton.
Mhm.
And I was gonna try to see if I could get the Lex Luthor one and Mr. Terrific, and the Corn Sweat one's fine. But the Lex Luthor one looks so bad, man.
You think so? I actually think it looks pretty good. That's the one that I'm like, that's
Maybe it
pretty
was like
good.
a weird sculpt that I had. The face was just like it could have just been a weird sculpt. And then the Mr. Terrific one, I will probably get that one.
That's the one I was most disappointed in.
Yeah,
I
I am
think it just,
disappointed with it. I
yeah.
agree. I had it in my hand and I was like, I had my card and I had it in my hand and I was like, it wasn't like, yeah, I'm definitely getting. There's like certain figures that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm definitely getting this. And that just wasn't one of them. But if it hits that, if it hits that clearance aisle, I'll definitely, no question, throw it in there.
Yeah, they had the robot too, which I thought about getting just because I
The
like
robot
robots.
would probably the one I would get instantly. I think the Lex Luthor one, they just like overdid it on the purple suit.
Uh,
It
yeah,
looks like really purpley, and I'm like, I don't even remember. That's not something from the movie that sticks in my head.
no. Yeah, and so I thought that he looked pretty good. I think that like when I like the David Corn Sweat. Is it corn? Yeah, it's corn. And is it
Corn
corn and
Sweat.
sweat? Is it just
I don't
corn
know.
sweat?
I have no idea.
Corn sweaty. When I
They
was
should have a
looking
cooler
at,
last name.
yeah, I mean, hit that one on the head. When I was looking at his, I liked it, and because you can get two versions. There's like the cheaper, just where it's just he's got fists or he's got the flying hands. He's got the Seagull hands.
Yeah.
But maybe I shouldn't say that.
The
Strange
Elon
flag.
Musk hands. You should say that.
Yeah, Elon Musk hands. But the only thing was he's got like 3 face plates, and I kept looking at him like, "These are the same faces.
Yeah, that's the one I saw. Yeah.
None of these faces are the same." I
You're
mean, they're
selling
all the
me. Yeah,
same.
you're selling me nonsense. Yeah.
And I was like looking at it. Well, one is like laser eyes, so that one was a little different. But the other two, I was like, the lips look the same, the eyes look the same. Are they looking in a different direction? Like I really couldn't tell a difference
Listen, McFarlane's gonna sell you if he can sell you the same thing, he's gonna sell you the same thing
for sure.
as much as
This is
possible.
this is slightly better than the Blue Beetle deal. When that came out, they had a couple of different versions
That
that
was
you
the
could.
craziest thing, where it was like, you
Yeah,
can get one with the wings, and then you can
yeah,
get
yeah,
one without the wing.
yeah. One with all the hands.
Yeah,
Um, and neither had the like he's supposed to have the spikes over his. That's like a
yeah,
staple.
yeah.
Um,
That was a different
anyway.
set. That's crazy.
Only the wings, yeah, it's just anyway. So I almost got a couple of those. Like I said, I almost got the robot for sure, but I was like, "Ah, fuck, 34 bucks. I can't do it. It's not worth it to me for a couple different heads and a couple different hands of a McFarlane. It's like polishing a turd. It's
Yeah, they're not, like, hyper detailed. I mean, they have, like, basic I think the paint on them is one thing that I'm like, "Hmm." And I'm not, like, a toy collector, but the toys that I do have are relatively detailed. Like, I do have some Marvel Legends.
yeah. They don't do a lot of paint though. Marvel Legends is mostly
Yeah.
mold. But
And the ones that I have don't like a ROM, like, they don't require a ton of
yeah,
paint, and
yeah.
so I don't know, when I look at some of the paint on these McFarlane figures, I'm like, "Ah, I just don't like it, man. It looks like I painted it," which no one want that.
It is so close to being good, in my opinion. Like, it
I
is
agree, I agree,
almost there. And
I
then
agree.
you look at it for too long, you're like, it's
It's
melting."
like it's like a uncanny valley kinda thing. It's like, "This looks like a toy, but is it?"
Yeah. I think the thing that bothers me the most about it is like, so NECA did raise their prices because of that jolly old tariff,
Yeah,
and they'll probably never go down once
yeah. Why?
they,
Why would you?
yeah.
Oh, y'all are
But
gonna
anyway,
pay y'all are gonna pay for them at this price?
yeah, sure.
Cool,
Why not?
cool.
Oh, I'll get to something here in a second. But they are like 35, 30, like close to 40. And they're not the most articulated things either, but neither, I mean, they're almost the same. McFarlane had
Mhm.
the diaper, NECA have the diaper, um, or whatever you want to call it, cod piece. Somebody was like, why do we have to call it a diaper? Why did we settle
Yeah,
on
yeah,
that?
yeah.
So they don't move super well. You have to modify them if you really want to fuck around with them. So I don't know. For my money, and NECA usually comes with a lot of cool accessories that are outside of a couple of hands. They usually come with hands and some random ass
Mhm.
shit. I got a campfire from a Jason once. I was like, this is great. I needed a campfire.
Well, even if they're not, like, the most articulate, the detail is usually a
Yeah,
step
the paint.
like, for a very similar price point, the detail is significantly better, just on I think on the mold in general
Yeah,
and then the paint. I feel like
yeah.
if you're comparing them just because they're so close in price, I don't collect a lot of NECA figures, so that just I don't collect figures a ton in general. If you don't pass me your hand-me-downs, there's a very
Mhm.
select few, or my kids don't get me random toys. They're like, "Oh, yeah, he likes it." Like, for my birthday, my kids got me this, Bleach figure because I'm watching Bleach with my son, and they're like, "Oh, man, you obviously like this show because you're talking about every." And then, so they got me this random Bleach figure that in my head, I'm like, "I got it," and I was like, "Oh, thanks." But I was like, "This fucking toy sucks."
Was it a McFarlane too? They
No,
make
no, no,
anime ones.
no, no. It was such a weird figure, man. I'll send you a picture of it. And then they got me this Godzilla one, which was actually pretty cool because I do love Godzilla. So
Yeah,
that was
that's
cool.
cool.
But it was just I really appreciate them like
Thanks.
trying. I do appreciate like to me it's the you always hear the saying like it's the thought that counts. And in my whole
Uh-huh.
life, I've always been like, oh, that's bullshit. Like that's not real. But in this instance, it's like it genuinely is like
Yeah, they were trying to find
They
something.
notice something about me and they're like, "Oh yeah, this for sure." And it's like
Yeah.
the most relevant thing.
Dad's gonna
And
love this.
yeah, so I don't even have that Ichigo on my toy shelf. I should put him up there because then they're like, why is this in the trash can, man?"
One time, Nicole got me, she got me a like some kind of Lego airplane or something. And she got it at the airport, and so it was like not even Lego. It was some other brand. Some
Yeah, like
Jeez, what is
blocks,
she? Yeah, what does she think I am? Some kind of plebe? Anyway, but it had been sitting on the shelf, and it's one of those things where those display items kinda get shifted down
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
shelves
yeah.
until they're out of the room, and then maybe in the living room, and then they still get shifted down shelves in there, and, she found it the other day. I popped my trunk, and it was, like, sitting in my trunk in, like, the donate stuff that I have in my trunk that's gonna ride around for a couple of months, and she's
I
like,
got that.
"Well, tell me you don't like a gift without telling me you don't like a gift." I was like, "You bought this for me 7 years ago."
Yeah. I got a similar story, yeah.
So
The kid for Father's Day a couple of years ago, I like Legos in theory.
mhm. Yeah.
Like, I like the process of doing it with either my wife and I or the kids and I. I like the process of doing it, but I'm not what I consider a Lego fan. You know, some people are out there and everybody has their thing they collect. I collect comic books, you collect figures, people collect Lego.
Mhm.
I'm not like a Lego person. I do enjoy the process of putting it together, but in my head, I'm like, once I do it, then what do I do? What do I do with it, right?
Yeah. I was just, "Look at
And
this."
the kids got me the Keaton Batmobile, which is cool, and it is
Well,
something
that
that
is
I'm
cool.
into. And but I just looked at my shelf and it's in the box still. Hadn't been opened. That was like 3 years ago.
Hey, keep it in the box. Might be
Yeah,
worth some money.
right. Well, because in my head, it's like, and this is weird. Anytime I'm alone for more than 15 minutes, I get really existential. And so in my head, I'm like, it's the same thing, right? If I take it out of the box and put it together and then put it on the shelf, that's it, right?
You've created a Schrodinger's cat situation with a Lego box.
So right there, it's technically the same thing. I just didn't build it. I do get the same enjoyment out of it because it's built on the picture of the box, right?
You should be a lawyer.
The worst lawyer ever. That's funny. There's in the current and this is a sidebar. We're gonna get to the Superman episode, I promise. But in the latest issue of TMNT, the new relaunch, the turtles are in court, right? They're about to get sent to jail for these crimes. And throughout this journey, Donatello has been just like as usual going through the shit. And he's having like a mental break. But he's like their lawyer representing them in court. And it's very clear that it's like, oh yeah, we're going to jail. There's like this panel where it's like this guy's crazy. And that's the first thing that popped in my head. So we are gonna get to the episode. We collect
Oh, hold
figures,
on.
we collect, like, random things. Go ahead, tell me.
Yeah, the last thing I was gonna say is they released The Last Ronin, like, continues or
Oh,
whatever the
I'm so tired of the last one. Oh, yeah, 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 let's talk about that. That is something I wanted to talk to you about that.
Yeah, they released a signed version on NECA.com, and I do everything in my power not to buy anything from them directly because it's
I'll
just a
never
shit
do
show.
I'll never in my life do it again.
Yeah. But they have this version that comes signed. I don't know by who. I didn't pay attention, but you could buy the
Yeah,
4-pack.
and it comes with the, hardcover of the Last Ronin 2. It was a sequel book called Last Ronin 2: Re-Evolution, the worst title ever, Re-Evolution, and it was with the 4 new turtles.
It's a Will Smith album,
Yeah.
Re-Evolution. But anyway, I think all in, it was like almost $200 or
Yeah,
something,
about
maybe
to
more.
with the tariff, it was about around $200.
Yeah, no fucking way. But then again, somebody was saying that it was almost as much when you buy individual figures. So I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I haven't read. I know I'll
You
probably
know,
want them if I read it.
I was thinking that today that we haven't reviewed a book in so long, like, that's one of the ones, like, I know you read Daniel Warren Johnson's, Transformers, that might be one we could do, and then I think Last Ronin 2 would be one because we have an opposing opinion about the first one to, like, the general populace.
about how everybody thinks it's the best
They
thing
just think
ever.
it's the best thing ever, and was like,
I love the concept. It's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
Spawn. Love the
The first
concept.
issue's
Yeah, yeah, they pulled that reveal, but it's like, love the concept, love the as far as, like, character designs and
yeah, I
stuff
love
like
the
that.
art in it, which I didn't think I would, but and
Yeah,
yeah, once you
and
get
then
through it though, it's kinda like,
what? Yeah.
um I did read the second one, and it's I would love to hear your thoughts on it. But I only say that I'd like to sneak in a couple more I'd like to sneak in periodically some of those old reviews because last week's episode, I did a recap of, just because Superman was coming out, I was like, "Oh, let's play an old Superman episode." And I listened to us talk about Superman versus the Klan, and I was just laughing my ass off about some of the stupid stuff that we were saying. So it'd be
Mm.
cool to sneak those in, especially with when like, "Oh, hey, this is our Daniel Warren Johnson book of the month," or whatever he has coming out.
He has a Kickstarter right now, did you know that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I need to bite the bullet on that and just get it because I know I want it. I know it's like it's gonna be one of those things that if I skip it, then I'll be trying to find it on eBay for triple the price after
Yeah,
it's
but
done.
there's something about that that makes you want it more. I've skipped
Yeah.
so many things, I'm like, "Ah, I'll probably be okay," and then it's like, "Damn it,
Yeah,
shoulda
yeah,
bought
every
that."
time. Yeah, I was interested. I do want those figures. I think when I went through the process of like getting it, and then I got to the notification where it's like, this purchase has the XYZ% tariff, and I was like, nah, that's it. That was like the last layer of like resistance. I was like, nope,
Yeah.
don't need it.
That's everything though. I mean, on Big Bad Toy Store, they warn you now too. I had a pre-order. They were like, "Well, since you put in this pre-order 3 years ago, you're not affected by tariffs and you can
Well, that's
cancel
cool.
without a penalty," which is great. But
That is cool.
at the same time, it's all going to have that. It's so fucking stupid. It's so dumb.
And you're right to what you said earlier. Now that these companies see that these people will are still willing to pay a higher price point, afterwards they're gonna be like, oh, that's just it.
I mean, they're already doing that. They did that. That's, just speaking on Marvel Legends and McFarlane. And I feel like McFarlane does provide a bit more in like cloth capes. That's another thing. Didn't bring that up.
Yeah.
But like to me, even though they're not the best, they're still better than the plastic shit you get with Marvel Legends.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I feel like Marvel Legends has, like, and this is I love the people that we know over at Marvel. This is not a slight to them specifically,
well, they don't work there
but
anymore. So some of them.
but that's true. But yeah, fuck them. Yeah, never no, I'm just kidding.
Dan Yan's still there. We still like him.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, we do, and he is still there. There's like a 1 out of 10 sort of thing with Marvel Legends. There's always, like, one figure that I'm like, "Oh, that looks really good."
Uh-huh.
But there's it's like 9 other ones that I'm like, "There's no shot. There's no way that I would spend money on that."
Yeah. It's super random too, I walk through the aisle and I don't have any of the I have Miles from the game, but I never bought a Spider-Man from the game because they were like $38 when they were coming out. But they had the symbiote version and I kept walking by. I was like, I don't need it. And then I went back a couple of days later and it was still there. And I was like, I'm still thinking about it, so I might as well buy
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
pretty good. I mean, it's cool. It looks like the game, but, there's so many Spider-Man figures now that have, like, the pretty wide range of motion. They got butterfly joints, they got all this shit, and they always skip one thing on that, this is a black figure with this deco spider. Shouldn't be that big of a deal to have butterfly joints, but they just I guess the mold is so unique, they can't use it again. I don't know, it's just interesting to see where they cut costs on certain figures like that.
Yeah, that is interesting. We'll do this is a whole episode about the toy. We could just cut that out in a separate episode. And yeah, I agree. And the cloth capes thing is what started that whole sidebar. But I agree. I feel like that is when we're talking about like from McFarlane to NECA, similar price points for just that little extra. There's no excuse that the companies that don't do it, you know what I mean? If there are companies that are doing it at a certain price point, there's no reason to not. You know, like they can't be selling that many DC McFarlane figures or that many Marvel Legends. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
Maybe they
DC,
are.
I mean, that's why I lost the license, I think, is there were
Yeah.
so many that were just he does whatever he wants. you know?
But well, there's 2 Batman figures in every launch that he did.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen more wide array instead of Build-A-Figures. Like, I would love a Plastic Man figure that was just a Plastic Man, but you had to and I never saw all 4 of those. So,
Yeah, I get it. Batman sells, but, like, come on, man.
yeah, and he was like
Maybe do every other one.
Chains and Whips, you know? That's why it's like the first part of his series that was like the Dark Knight Metal or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Batman and Joker, Batman and Joker, Batman and Joker. Maybe somebody else, but very, very few women characters that I don't have a lot of lady figures, but and I don't know how they sell.
He said they don't sell, but I'd love a
Yeah,
Wonder Woman figure.
he said you're a serial killer if you're buying women
Yeah,
action figures. It's
and
like the weirdest interview ever.
somebody robbed a storage container or a delivery truck for all the Supergirl figures. There were some that
Crazy.
made it to stores, and then they had to send notices out to people that like, "Hey, sorry about your pre-order." Somebody like there was a heist.
Yeah, I bet they go on sale whenever Supergirl comes out.
Yeah. Yeah,
They'll
who
pop up
knows?
on eBay.
But I don't know. I just don't know about this figure. Oh, but back to it, like how much they pay. It also comes from licensing fees, I guess. But like Disney owns all that shit for Marvel Legends. Black Series are way too expensive for what you get. Um,
Yeah, but that's kinda
uh,
like Disney's thing,
Strange.
though. It's like charging an ass ton of money for nothing.
But what I always
I'm looking
found
at you,
interesting
Disney.
is
I'm looking
like,
at you, Disney World.
yeah, the difference is, it's the same. Hasbro is making both, but like with the Black Series, you're not gonna get any extra hands for sure.
No
If
extra
you
detail, really.
Yeah, they all have the same body. I don't know. No different heads, no different, like, stoic faces on
You're
little
selling bullshit.
terracotta shoulders. Yeah, anyway, it's just interesting. I don't know. It kind of
I mean,
chaps
it's
my ass
true.
for
Listen, black sales, man.
it, yeah, it just makes me not wanna buy them anymore. Hell, I
Yeah.
saw one if this is sorry, last rant tangent thing, but I saw it was one of those hammerhead, aliens from Star Wars. It was, the Mos Eisley Cantina one. He's, like, in the background. It was at GameStop. It's a vintage collection. It's 3.75. It was $35, and I was like, "You
Wolf.
can go fuck yourself."
Yeah,
Like,
wolf.
I want
Who's
that
paying
figure
it?
too.
I like Star Wars, right?
I don't
I
know.
don't own any Star Wars figures, but, like, who's buying that?
I don't know. I can't I mean, people like me that are like, "Well, that's the only figure I have left from the because you
Yeah.
could buy the Cantina."
Completionist.
Yeah, and I don't it's 25, I think, somewhere else, which is getting closer, but still, for that, a 3.75 figure, no. I don't know. It's just annoying. It's like, "Yeah, you want some of these drugs?" That's what it feels like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
"How
Yeah,
about some
it's
of
very
this?"
and it's, like, preying on people that like, yeah, that kinda character. And it's not the same thing. Rom's kinda like a cult classic character.
Mhm.
And Marvel, I think Marvel's a little bit better. Marvel Legends is a little bit better about doing some of these random characters than DC, but I totally agree with you, man.
Yeah, Ron was, like, one of the best figures they put out all year, that's what's crazy.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
more articulated than the Spider-Man I bought the other day.
yeah.
Um,
I
that's
think
crazy.
who was it? Parker Brothers that owned it, and then it went to I don't know who ended up having it, but they were like, "Hey, if you're gonna do it, you're gonna have to all of your budget for figures is gonna have to go to that."
Yeah, it's cool.
I got 2 of them, and that's the weird thing to me is like
Excuse me.
when it's a random figure like that, I gotta buy it. The only one I never got, which I kinda still kick myself for, was the electric blue Superman.
Yeah, that was hard
'Cause
to find,
I was like, "I'll see it," and I always see these figures, McFarlane figures like, in the wild, and I never saw that one.
I think he was part of that Plastic Man line too. I
Yeah,
never
he
saw
was.
him, and there was another one of that line I never saw.
And now when you try to find it on eBay, it's like $100, I'm like, "I don't wanna pay $100 for it," because then I'll just, like there are cooler figures that I can get for $100,
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like, that kinda sucks. Maybe I will find it in the wild, and that's kinda my hope. I was like, "Ah, I'll just find it."
My FX will probably make one eventually, and then that's
Yeah.
$100 that's actually worth about
Like a
that.
way better yeah, way better figure.
Their
And
Superboy is pretty cool looking.
Electric Blue Superman is just like Mark Waid in the current DC run. He is sprinkling in Electric Blue Superman. He's a character right now, just spun out of an event that was like tied in a bunch of the DC books. But Electric Blue Superman is part of a team in an upcoming book coming out in October called the Terrific 10. Mr. Terrific is leading a team of like time displaced heroes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, the only characters we know on the team right now is Mr. Terrific, obviously, Electric Blue Superman, Terry McGinnis, and then there's like a Beast Boy that I'm not familiar with, but he looks kind of more like a savage Beast Boy, which is cool. And then they
Is he
have
like a bigger, like a hulky kind of?
yeah, yeah, and then the harpoon hand Aquaman. So
Okay.
like, there's no way this team wasn't written for like. So that's gonna be a cool book, a cool team made
That's
specifically for me. So I'm really excited about that.
It's interesting. That brings me to another quick tangent. That they released that Amazing Yamaguchi Batman Beyond, and I
Mm,
hate to say it,
yeah,
I don't like it at all.
I haven't seen it
Didn't
yet. I'll have to look it up.
I was hesitant on it because he's got like red lines in his suit and he's real ultra shiny. Those
Maybe I did
figures are
see it.
really well
Yeah,
articulated. Yeah, they're cool. They're well articulated, and that's what draws me to them. But I don't know. I just don't like that style.
yeah. Like I've always thought about getting that Venom that they had because it's like I like the big hulking Venom and he looks crazy articulated. Yeah, yeah. I don't like that either. I don't. There's too much red in it.
Yeah, I don't like the red. And again, I think he's too shiny. But I do have an extra Arkham Knight Yamaguchi, and so I might try to make a custom with that
It
with
could be a
some
cool figure
really good.
if it I mean, yes, I agree it's shiny, but I feel like if it didn't have all the red,
Mhm.
it wouldn't look that bad.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna go to the Kyoto store in the Land of the Rising Sun
Yeah, my motherland.
if
I
I
need you to
see it
keep an eye
online.
out for obscure TMNT Japanese stuff. There's like a Japanese OVA that came out called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Super Mutants or Super it's called
Yeah, yeah,
Superman. I need you to keep an eye out for some of those if you see them. I'm trying to
yeah,
complete
yeah.
the set.
Well, what do you have?
Right now I just have like Raph, so I need all of them.
That's not like the gym one, right? Or is it? Like where they're
No,
Super
no, no, no,
Sentai kind of?
not the armor ones. It's like the Super Sentai ones where they look like there's part of the OVA where they get like Ronin warriors type armor, and
Yeah.
then there's part where they look like sort of American action heroes,
Yeah,
Wolverine
yeah.
mask.
That's
And
what I
those are the ones
remember.
yeah, those are the ones I'm collecting.
I remember the armor ones. I had one that was like a Pegasus or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Pegasus armor.
I remember having those too. So, welcome to the show, guys. We are talking about Superman, the movie. I'm very excited to talk about it. Simon, let's kick things off. I want to know before going to the movie, what did you think? What were your thoughts going into it? Like, were you excited? Were you kind of weary? Were you nervous?
I don't have a lot of stakes in Superman, so
Mhm.
I figured it would be whatever would be good enough. Like James Gunn, even though he can have this like dark sense of humor with his direction and some of his stuff, a lot of his writing is pretty sad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
I
there's a sad, like a funny sadness to a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I don't know. I knew that I was gonna be okay, like with whatever it was. Man of Steel was kind of like, oh, this is just depressing. And
Mhm.
two, I don't know. I don't want to think about all the like real world shit or depressing, overly depressing things right now. I need to see a bright movie about a man that flies around.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I was pretty excited about it. I think that just some of the preview stuff, people bitching and moaning about weird like the strangest nitpicks just because they wanted to cry about something,
Mhm.
put me off of that side of it. But more so, I was just annoyed. So I was like, I'm gonna watch this movie even harder,
Yeah,
because
out of
y'all are being
spite. Yeah.
assholes.
Yeah. Yeah, and I
So
feel like that did I honestly feel like that didn't skew my reactions to it, I really don't, but
mhm.
it has skewed my sort of reactions afterwards. to people, if that makes sense. Like, because there's so many people that, and we'll talk about this later on, that are just like, that's just obsess about the box office. They obsess about like what Man of Steel made compared to like what Superman, the current one's doing. And it's just like, what are you doing, man? Like, in my
Yeah.
entire life, when I was a kid going to theaters, my first thought after watching movies like, "Hmm, I wonder what the box office," like, who gives a fuck, man?
Yeah.
And
I don't.
and their argument is usually like, "Well, it matters because the future of movies or whatever." And I'm like, "I get it, but, like, you were just a dude at your parents' house. Like, you analyzing all these things doesn't affect anything." Like,
Right.
the you breaking down, like, what Man of Steel made with inflation, like, that you get a life, man. What are you doing? Get a
Yeah.
life.
I don't know what kind of pleasure people get out of. It was like when Avatar and I think Star Wars or when they were and Titanic, I think when they were flip flopping on like the highest grossing movies of all time, and people
Yeah,
are like, "Oh, my movie made it on top." It's like your movie. It's like to me, it's
yeah.
the same
You
as
don't
when
work there.
people. Yeah, it's the same as when people like talk about their sports team. They're like, "Yeah,
Oh
we're
my
gonna make it
god.
this year." I'm like,
Yeah.
"We."
I said that. I posted something like that, that was like, people are both sides of it. Hardcore James Gunn fans, and this is no, I'm a fan of James Gunn's work, because even when I don't like it, I think it's serviceable. Like, I've said it
Yeah, it's
before,
like
I'm not a
pizza.
huge fan, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of, that's a perfect analogy. It's like pizza. I'm not a huge fan of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I know some people love it, but I was just like, "Oh, this one's not my favorite, probably my least favorite, but it's
Mhm.
fine." It was still fine.
Yeah,
So, and I really try to watch Zack Snyder's movies with an open mind, but, like, after watching Rebel Moon, I'm like, There's no way people are, like, this much in love with this guy," and I try not to be, like, on one side or the other, but it's annoying on both sides. So there's, like, the
yeah.
hardcore James Gunn fans, hardcore Snyder fans that are just, like, going back and forth online, and I'm like, "You guys are treating these creators like they're your sports teams." Like, that's lame to me. Like, that
It
it's
that
to me, I'm just like, "That's weird," in my opinion.
Yeah, I've never had that. I don't feel like I have. Maybe I have, and I just don't know. But I know that people are looking for that sense of belonging and community and stuff.
Yeah. No, I have
I
friends in real life.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
need
yeah. I've got my friends for that. I don't need to
Yeah.
find an online community about. I mean, I do have toy photographer friends, so I guess that's the same
Well,
thing. But
and I do have people online that I consider like a part of a community that I'm in, whether it be my quote unquote community or people that just communities that I'm part of. I do have that, and I do see the value in that. And there's no discredit to some people that don't have, you know, real life friends, and that's kind of their whole world. I get it. People do need to feel like they belong somewhere, but like being a ride or die for like this director, no matter what, is the best just because it's his name.
yeah,
Is weird to me. Either or, and this is going for James Gunn fans or Zack Snyder fans, and
and
because
I
I'm sure they're both lovely people that are actually very nice to each other, like friends.
yeah. Well, they even made fun of it. I think they were on
Rick and
Rick and
Morty.
Morty. Yeah. So, I don't know, to me, I think the sense of community thing is supposed to keep us from, like, fucking, I don't know, blowing up a post office or something, but, like,
Yeah,
in the same
I think this is pushing
scenario,
in the wrong direction.
in the same direction, it's like, once you're in one of those extreme communities, it's just as bad, like, you're just as rotten,
Yeah,
so I
and
don't
hey,
know.
I'm part of the Ninja Turtle community. It's the most
Yeah.
like it's the
Yeah, yeah.
most, and inside that community, it's divided amongst people that like. It's basically, this is the turtles I grew up with. This is the best version.
Mhm. Yeah.
Which leaves out a lot of nuance, and I'm definitely not one of those people. I think they all have their own merits, and I think they all have their own flaws, and I think that's what's beautiful about it. But I feel like the general populace, if you're part of a fandom, it's either like, "This is it.
Mhm.
I've I've committed to this one thing, and it does not matter. Like, any other opinions don't matter, any other, like, nuance, it does not matter. This is good because I like this person."
Right. And I think I agree. I'm kinda like that about Mezco, but not re I don't know. I try to be really open-minded, but I like a lot of their products, so I'll defend them more than I probably should if they release something that's, like, people have a hard time with. But at the same time, I'll be like, "Ah, that one didn't do it for me. I'm not a fan of that figure." But some people are like you'll have people that just they love Mezco, but they also love to shit on them all the time. "This figure sucks. Their shipping is slow. They're too expensive.
Yeah.
Gotta have
It
this
just
next
seems
one."
such a waste of energy, man.
It's just a cycle. You spend the money on the thing and then you complain about it and complain about it, and then you spend the money on a thing. It's like, don't buy it anymore then. Just don't
Yeah,
buy
that's
it.
true. Yeah, same thing with, like, superhero movies, people that just shit on Marvel movies. They're just like they go and they pay money to see these movies. They're part of the opening weekend crowd, and then they just, like, spend the next couple weeks just, like just and it's not even Marvel movies, comic book movies in general, and they just spend the next couple weeks just, like just to
Planning,
feel part just to
plotting.
still feel part of the community in a sense, but their part is, like, just shitting on it over and over, like, relentlessly, and it's like, just
And
maybe you
ruining
don't
other
like
people's enjoyment.
yeah, maybe you
That's the
just don't
key.
like maybe you just don't like superhero movies, man, like,
Uh-huh.
that's okay, but
Yeah,
you
go
always get the
watch
argument yeah, you always get the argument, it was like, "No, we just want good superhero movies."
what's
You
good.
have to understand that, like, it's subjective, man.
They're all for kids.
Yeah,
If you
it's exactly.
and even the ones that aren't like Deadpool, not really that good of a movie.
Not good at all. I
It
mean,
was a
okay, I'm
fine
not gonna say at
Deadpool
all.
movie.
I'm not gonna say yeah, I'm not gonna say at all. It was
Yeah, we've
good for what
had
it was.
we definitely had this discussion ad nauseum, but
Yeah.
it's just relentless on the other side of things, so it feels like we have to
Yeah, yeah,
reiterate.
yeah. All that to say, my initial thoughts going into it, very, very, very hopeful. I was very hopeful going in. I mean, it's weird to like if you say some of these things when I talk about having one side or the other, one sports team versus the other sports team. If you're part of like the James Gunn faction, it almost feels like you can't say anything sometimes, not always. It almost
Mhm.
feels like you can't say anything negative about it because if you do, you're automatically lumped in with that terrible group, and it's like, my complaint isn't big enough to be lumped in with those weirdos, so I'm just
Yeah,
gonna keep it to myself.
yeah. And there is
But,
something
like
about that too. People love to
yeah.
lump you in and it's like, "Hey, I'm just saying that this shouldn't be. I'm not saying that I hate those people."
Yeah, 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 yeah. And this movie, like, going into it, I wasn't a huge fan of the suit going in. I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I just didn't like it. But I was, I didn't see the movie, so I was holding my, my opinions on it until I got to see it, and it ended up looking better.
Mhm. The trucks,
But
man, you gotta have the trucks.
yeah, but it was just like I just wasn't a fan of it at first, and then it won me over.
I don't
And
I don't like that MCUification or whatever you wanna
oh,
call it, like the panels and stuff. It was
yeah,
fine though. I agree. It was
it ended
I
up
didn't
being
think about
fine.
it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't think about it while I was watching,
Uh,
so
so I was hopeful. After, like I just was not a fan of the DCEU. Like, I know people talk about how great these movies were, and, like, you just gotta wait till the Snyder Cut comes out, and the Snyder Cut came out, and it was, like, a little bit better than
yeah, this is
than
slightly better.
yeah, I was like, am I
It's
gonna
also 4
it
hours long.
it takes 4 hours for this to be, like, a little bit better. It's not it's not that great, in my opinion. And, you have people that say The Flash was, like, the greatest superhero movie of all time. I'm like, that
What
person's
the fuck?
clinically insane.
Yeah, jeez. I can't even pretend.
So, it's just like, I just wasn't a fan of those movies. I did not like I have to be very nuanced with this, and that's the word of this episode. It's like key. It's key, right?
Knew it.
I did not like the depiction of Superman in the DCEU most of the time. I do think that Henry Cavill looks like Superman.
Mhm.
I believe he had the acting chops to pull off Superman, but when I saw him on screen, it just never sold it for me.
There were a few moments where I feel like he felt like the Boy Scout type Superman that I enjoyed. It was mostly when he's interacting with Lois. The pieces, I don't know, Batman versus Superman and then Man of Steel, the pieces where he's like fighting people, he's just having the worst time of his life. I don't
Yeah.
know what that is. It doesn't even feel human, but it doesn't feel alien. He's supposed to be above a lot of that. It
Yeah,
didn't feel
when he
like
I saw a scene recently where meets Bat or not meets I think he meets Batman for the first time, where he rips off the top of the Batmobile, and he's like, "When they shine the bat signal in Gotham, don't answer, the bat is dead." I'm like,
Don't come. I mean,
"Yeah, like, this is just Batman versus Batman." It's like Super Batman
mhm.
versus regular Batman. Who wants to watch that? Apparently a lot of people.
Yeah, I wanted that to be better. Anyway, yeah, it just didn't feel he doesn't feel likable at all, which I feel like they improved in this version. This character was much more human, which I appreciated a lot.
Yeah,
So,
I was hopeful for this movie. Significant because it kicks off a new universe. Even though we've gotten some, we've gotten Peacemaker, which will tie into it. Even though they're gonna do some multiverse type stuff, which I'm tired of, they're gonna they're gonna streamline that into the new DCU. They have Creature Commandos, which was good. So they have these things that kind of sprinkled it in. I was hopeful. I mean, I'm hopeful for anything. People have talked about the slog of the current phase of the MCU, and I feel like it's all just been fine to me. I know COVID kind of wrecked a lot of things, and then the strikes kind of like set some things off, and so we just kind of got this disjointed comic book movie era from the Marvel side of things, and then the DCEU has just always been like, what are we doing here?"
yeah, the DCEU, they definitely approached it differently, so that was always a problem. But
Yeah, especially with that last, like, Black Adam Hail Mary that they did. It was like, "What
yeah,
is going on?"
whatever that's supposed to be. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, who is this person? Just because you got The Rock, you couldn't find a different character for him to play?
Yeah, yeah,
That was so
yeah.
bad. Such a stupid
Um, it
movie.
was it was I enjoyed it because I like The Rock, right? And
Mm.
I think he acts like The Rock in all of the movies that he's in, so for me,
Yes.
it's like, "Oh, I'm going to watch The Rock
Silent Rock.
as" yeah, it's like The Rock, Egyptian god.
Yeah,
That's
The Rock,
that
Silent Rock.
yeah, exactly. The Rock with electricity powers. So that's what I was watching. I totally disassociate it from being a DC property. It's like The
Yeah.
Rock versus Wingman and versus versus the helmeted sorcerer. This is great. This is a great movie.
That and what sucks even worse about some of that is, like, these characters are pretty good most of these actors are pretty good for the
Pierce
roles.
Brosnan,
Yeah,
the dude that played
and that they
Hawkman,
just
great.
wasted it. Yeah, I
Total
thought he was
waste.
great too. Yeah, wasted him. That's
Total
it.
waste. And I will say right now, we're not going to break down the entire movie, but we will tread into like spoiler territory. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, and definitely come back after you watched it, and you should probably go see it. It's at
Yeah, we
least,
need those
in
box
my
office
opinion,
numbers.
yeah, because we desperately need the box office
Yeah.
to surpass
I
the
can't
movie
I
Man
can't
of
come
Steel.
until I see these huge box office numbers.
I'll
You
never,
can edit that out.
I won't be able to, I won't be able to fully enjoy my experience with. I think we're saying the same thing. I won't be able to fully enjoy my experience with the Superman movie until it makes a certain amount in the box office.
Yeah.
Like, I can't tell you if I liked it or not unless it makes a gajillion dollars.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah,
like,
your
the
attitude
corporations
slowly starts changing.
yeah, the corporations deserve so much money, man.
Yeah, why don't they have more, you know?
Why aren't we giving more money? So let's get into it. Did it meet, exceed, or fall short of your expectations?
So, I mean, I think that it way exceeded my expectations because overall, if you want my reasoning for it, yeah, I don't like Superman's great. And I think that he can be really nuanced. I love the cartoon, but I was never like a huge, like the 90s cartoon
Yeah,
or
great
early
show.
to the whatever, all that. But he was never like a huge character that I followed. And I will say that Christopher Reeve's Superman, I love that movie and that really got me into it.
So good.
Otherwise, he's just kind of a background character to me, even though he's part of the
Yeah.
big three. I
He's like
prefer
the archetype
Batman.
superhero, right? He's like when you
Yeah,
think of
I
like
think
superheroes, I think he at least pops up in people's head.
true, true, true. And I think it's more about like it feels like he can't really be defeated all that well, especially when it's a bright, sunny Superman.
Yeah.
But
But honestly, it's what I
d-
liked about this movie.
yeah, 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 yeah. When I going in and watching, it was clever. I feel like they brought in some of the cleverness to defeating Superman, not just like, kidnap your mom. You can't go faster than a speeding bullet. You definitely can't go
Yeah.
faster than a blowtorch.
Well, I also hate that it's always like the main way to defeat Superman is I'm smarter than you. And Superman's such a more complex character than just like punching stuff.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah. And I will give, for whatever that served in this movie, I will give it to inexperience. And I think that,
Yeah, for
like, he's
sure.
been Superman for 3 years. It's like, that makes sense that he doesn't know all these strategies. Lex Luthor is supposed to be smart,
Yeah,
or
he's a
maybe not
genius.
smarter, but smart. I mean, he is smart. But anyway, yeah, when I walked out, I was like super happy. There were times when I
Mhm.
teared up a little bit, only from enjoyment, like it was just hopeful feeling. So that meant a lot. I love the extraneous characters. I think that, Mr. Terrific fucking killed it. That guy was great.
Yeah.
And Guy Gardner was fun. I wish that they had kind of done more of a bowl cut than what he had, but
Yeah, it's
rather than
still weird.
looking like shit. What's his? I just watched Tropic Thunder the other day. It's like the character that Ben Stiller plays. You mama make me happy. But yeah, he kind of had that coconut hair. But and yeah, Lois Lane was great. That lady's pretty. All
Yeah, she
day,
was great.
every extraneous character was great in this movie, and Superman was great. And it's like he wasn't even the main character.
Yeah. It was more like the movie was more like the world of Superman rather than like Superman the character, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Yeah, and I don't know, it was really fun. I really enjoyed it, and I think that James Gunn, he has some cliches to his movies, especially when you're looking at, like, the Mr. Terrific fight scene, which was fucking cool, but it's just like the Yondu scene almost. Still great. There's always the fight scene to the music thing. He always has a good end credits. Like, he spends a lot of time on that. So it makes sense that he's going to put it on in all of his movies. But I don't know, dude. I walked out and I was like, I want to go watch this again, like right now. And I
Yeah,
want to
same,
go
same.
pay for a ticket and walk back into the theater immediately because it's just a good change of pace, especially for superhero movies. Not that we talk about it all the time. They are what they are. They always have been
Yeah.
that. There's
Yeah,
very
yeah,
few that are
yeah.
like masterpieces. They're just, ticket fodder. But
Yeah, I think it's a very maybe not popular to say, but maybe Scorsese was right, man. Maybe they are just like roller coasters.
they're
Not saying
just
that they
like
can't
action
not
movies.
not saying that they can't be good. No one is saying that. But
No, but I
also
mean,
like
it's
if you're going to it expecting like Schindler's List, maybe you're going to be disappointed.
they're
It's a
good.
strong possibility that you're going to be disappointed.
They're good in the way that all Arnold Schwarzenegger movies are good. You know what I mean? Like
I agree.
he's never put out a movie that was like a thought provoking thing.
Yeah, this dude is the actor one of the actors of our time, one of the great actors of our time.
Yeah, and that's no slight to him. That's just they're enjoyable
No.
movies, and you don't have to think
Wild
about them,
career,
and you get to
yeah.
enjoy shit
Wild
blown up.
career. Iconic, yeah. Did it meet, exceed, or fall short of my expectations? We've talked about it before. I think I found my sweet spot with watching comic book movies, is I go in with very low expectations. Sometimes when I
Mhm.
see these movies, they're adequate. Like my low expectations
I'm
are met.
drunk.
Yeah. Sometimes they're met though. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm like, oh, went in with low expectations. I got exactly what I thought I was gonna be. Whatever. No big deal. I went in with low expectations for this one just because of the history of DC movies. And I was just like, damn. Like there was I was really surprised at how much I enjoyed this movie. And I always do this sort of litmus test where I ask my wife and kids what they thought about it, and they loved it.
Yeah.
And so, in my opinion, it's like their general audience could give a shit less about Superman, and I'm like hardcore fan. So it's like if there's a close correlation between, then I'm like, okay, then yeah, this it's a good one. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think this
Same.
movie, a lot of the points that you mentioned for sure, agree 100%. And we don't always agree on movies, but this is one that I think we're pretty spot on with. How do you feel about it being the first like DCU movie. Do you think it's gonna? Do you think they'll keep this tone? Would you like if they kept this tone going forward?
Yeah, I would. I think like DC to me is hold on, let me start over. So like I mentioned that Batman Brave and the Bold is probably one of my favorite iterations of the character. Like the cartoon is one of my favorite
My absolute
iterations of the
favorite. Yeah.
character because it's like it has that golden age silliness that you know, I don't know, that's just what I prefer. It's like an innocent time. And even though that they can get serious, that it's still like that more innocent like we're gonna go play stickball in the field, like that kind of like time, but without the segregation. And I think that to me, that's how this felt. And I hope that they keep that like, yes, there's serious stuff going on, but it's still like a almost utopic feeling to the world, if that makes sense. Like Gotham is kind of dark and gritty and crime ridden, but it's still kind of a futuristic megalopolis. And then you look at same thing with Metropolis. It's huge, right? And more futuristic and bright and bronzy. And I don't know. Yeah, I do. I hope that they keep it going forward. Uh, by comparison, especially, I think that when you look at Zack Snyder's movies, they serve a different purpose, but oof, they are dour.
Well, it looked like the entire world was Gotham City, in my opinion,
Well, they're
except for
right
the
across
Flash
the
movie.
street from
They
Metropolis.
are right. They're right across the lake.
Another thing that I'll say, just tone wise, I feel I don't really like the world ending things happening all the time. That's a trope that I'm getting tired of. But even like this big pocket universe that's like zipping unzipping part of the world, even that, it's just like spreading the street. Like there's a few stakes in there and buildings were dominoing, but it didn't feel the same as like a terraforming machine that completely demolished the city that would be rebuilt in a couple of years. Yeah, that it felt more like a superhero movie like that. I feel like I'm
Like a
sorry.
comic book, like,
Yeah,
issue
comic book.
almost, or a comic book, like,
Yeah,
miniseries where it's like,
they
it has ramifications, like a Superman book has ramifications for Metropolis in the Superman, like, world. Yes, Superman's part of the entire DC universe, DC world, but, like, when Batman there's always this thing where it's like Batman's fighting criminals in Gotham, and there's going through, like, this epic journey through, like, family turmoil and all these things, and it's like, "Well, why doesn't he just call Superman?" It's like, okay, duh. We could just do that for every single book and every single situation, right? But you have these contained stories, and I agree that kind of even though it was like a dimension splitting thing, it still felt contained in a sense.
yeah, and
Go ahead.
I like that it starts off with Superman kind of getting his ass kicked a little bit.
Yeah, I know some people didn't like that. I've seen people comment like, "Well, I want to see Superman. Like, we go to see Superman be Superman. He shouldn't be getting his ass kicked." I'm like, where's the fun in that? I think even James Gunn commented on like that. It's like if that's the case, then I'll just make a character called God Man, and then no one can touch him, and for an hour and a half, he's just
Go
like.
watch Passion of the Christ. He still got beat down too. It's offensive. I don't know.
I've also saw someone say like this movie felt like getting dropped into season three, the middle of a season three of a TV show, and that they were saying that as a slight. But in my head,
Uh-huh.
I'm like, and we've talked about this on the old show and on this show so much. I really appreciate just getting dropped in.
Yeah.
I was so glad this wasn't a Superman origin story. I really like the world has been around. We've gotten an entire DCEU universe. We are familiar enough with superheroics, right?
Yeah.
It's safe to say that like Superman, we don't need to establish like Superman's here, and now we need to get the origin of this Green Lantern. Now we need to give the origin of Mister Terrific. Like that just seems like such a waste of time to me.
Yeah, and it was taken care of, like, in his dialogue. We know who Green Lanterns are, and he said, "The Green Lantern Corps, told me that I had to take care of this sector, essentially."
Yeah.
I will
And then in the
so,
beginning, they break it down like, "Hey, this has been around for a while." They break it down
yeah,
into threes or whatever. Superman's been doing this for 3 years or whatever. And I was
yeah.
like, "That's perfect. That's all I need." If you as a viewer don't have the brain capacity to, like, understand that without being spoon-fed the entire events of his life or in every character's life, then that's just, like, a skill issue right? You need to like not watch movies.
Yeah. May
Go do
maybe they
something
should
else.
put a it's like a back of the cereal box thing. They put the story on the popcorn bucket.
Yeah. There
I
should be like
think
a cue card at every table or every chair that's just like a list of things that Superman when Superman was 16, he I just watched Smallville if you wanna know his entire life
Mhm.
as a teenager.
Yeah, they'll probably get into it later, maybe. I do like a few callbacks here and there, and I think it would have been cool to have like a flashback moment. It doesn't have to be an extended one, but it would have been neat to see more than just still images with him and Ma and Pa Kent. And I love that they are old people. You know, they were supposed to
Man,
be old. They
yeah.
were a little
I don't know if
too
I have this
country
as a
for
question.
Kansas.
Okay, listen, I don't know if I had this as a question later, but we can get into it. I saw people complain about how country they were, right? I don't know Kansas that well, so
Yeah, same.
maybe not. Maybe they were for Kansas, right? But as someone that grew up in a small town country, they're like they're just so stupid and they don't know how to work technology. And I'm just like, hey man, I know you're from like the big bustling city and you're on the cutting edge of technology. Like around these parts, that's how old people are. I mean,
Yeah.
I hate they're old, right? That's
Yeah,
how
they're
old
supposed to be.
I know 50 of those old ass people that are like that.
I know people that are yeah, that aren't even
I
that
can
old that
tell
don't
you,
know shit about
yeah, I can
technology.
tell you right now. Like, I feel like that if they were meant to be like, not saying this is no discredit to farmers out there, but I know country people and that's how they act, right? That's how they
Mhm.
are. I thought they were sweet. I thought they were endearing. I absolutely loved it. And it calls back to like my experience with just life experiences, right? If you're from New York City, of course.
That ain't gonna
Of
make any
course they're
sense to
gonna
you. No.
of course they're gonna sound stupid. Of course they're gonna sound like bumbling idiots. You don't have that experience. In my opinion, though, some of the sweetest people I've met in my life have been those people.
Yeah.
And
Right before
that's
they say
just
something racist.
yeah, right before they say you're one of the good ones. They're the sweetest people I've ever met in my life. And I've also seen people say, like, how does his parents have these like country accents, right? And then he doesn't. I'm like, again, that's real life. Like, I know
Uh-huh.
hillbilly parents and grandparents and kids that left town and moved to a big city or moved away that don't have an accent. Like that's just real life stuff. I'm sorry that people that live in like LA and again New York, they don't have that
Why?
experience. But like for some people in the world, that's real life. You can have my
Yeah.
grandparents are from fucking Oklahoma. They're very like farm people. Not that Oklahoma is known for their farming, but they're very
Mm-mm.
country people. They're very country folks, and they had country accents. And I just when I have family in California too, and then when I don't think I have an accent. I don't think I have a country accent. My wife thinks I do. But whenever I
Say
talk to my
taco.
grandparent, whenever I taco, whenever I talk to my grandparents in uh, whenever I would talk to my grandparents in California, they would say, "Oh my gosh, you sound like a cowboy." And I'm like, "I don't see it."
You? No,
So,
that's a
yeah.
strange. I don't hear it with you. I hear it with myself. There was
Yeah.
yeah, the accent was just a little thick, but I agree they were very endearing and sweet and like I enjoyed seeing them as like just normal people, not fucking Kevin Costner
Kevin
and
Costner, like, "Hey, who's Superman's dad? The most handsome guy in history, living
yeah,
in rural Kansas. He was almost a model, but then he decided to live on the farm." Like, I'm sure that
yeah,
happens, but, like, how random is that? And his mom's
right.
what's that lady's name?
What's her
Diane
name?
Lane?
Yeah, Diane Lane, she's foxy as hell.
Fucking bombshell as an old lady? Why do we have to
Yeah.
have why does every character have to be a supermodel, right?
And yeah, she's not even that old. I bet she's only 10 years older than the
Yeah, I
guy
bet
that
they're
plays
very
Superman. Was
I bet they're very close in
close.
age.
I just lost his name. It's Cavill. Yeah, I
Henry
bet she's
Cavill, yeah,
pretty
she's
close. Maybe
gorgeous,
15.
right?
I'm curious
I'm not
now.
saying that country people aren't gorgeous, right? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, everyone doesn't have to be a supermodel in these movies.
She's 60.
Damn, hope I look like that when I'm 60.
Yeah, she looks good.
And let's see, how'd you feel
He's
about
42,
let's wow.
20 years apart.
Let's talk about what worked, right? David Corn Sweat as Superman and Clark Kent. We've talked about this in the past. We've talked about this in the past. Something that fails or something that is an easy fail for me when it comes to Superman is not being able to play Clark Kent. I think
Mhm.
Christopher Reeve did nailed it. Like he was the blueprint. His Clark Kent was just so perfect, and his ability to transform into Superman by just like fixing his posture and his demeanor was just it's insane to this day, still perfect. And so, how do you think our boy Dave did?
I think he did a really great job. There was a comment about his like hypno glasses, which I thought was funny, but the way he did his hair, I feel like really was kind of crazy and it really worked. The only thing I
Yeah, and
didn't,
how disheveled he looked.
yeah, I didn't love that he didn't change his voice really all that much.
I feel like he was trying,
I didn't
and it
notice it.
didn't.
He
I
might have.
didn't like. I didn't think. I did. It wasn't sold on his trying. It for me. It seemed like he was trying to do a deeper voice as Clark Kent, and I was like, ah. And then he was using his regular voice for Superman, which I guess makes sense because he is Superman. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And Clark Kent sort of the disguise. So I guess it does. Wow, layers. There's layers to this, man.
Man, you hit it.
I agree. I thought he did great, man. I thought he really hammed it up as just a country boy. Like I know that people probably think it's corny with him saying like sort of the words he was using with like what did he say? Just like the gee golly stuff. I can't remember exactly what he was saying.
Yeah. But I think that fits with the tone of the movie.
I thought it was
It's
perfect,
beyond just, yeah, it's beyond just the way he was raised. It's like it fits the tone of the.
especially in contrast to spoiler alert, Supergirl. I think it's perfect.
Yeah, that that was
I
pretty
think it's gonna
insane.
be absolutely perfect. I think he did good. I think physically he was. I think the suit ended up being fine. Think I'm not a huge person that like over unless the CGI and like VFX is like jarring. I'm not someone
Yeah.
that over analyzes it, and I thought it was all pretty fine. For like people to complain like, "Oh, this didn't look real." I'm like, it's a guy flying through through a pocket
I think
dimension, fighting other.
yeah,
Go ahead,
that whatever. That's so stupid. I think the only thing that was jarring to me was like the hammer of what is it, Bolovia or
Bravia.
whatever? Yeah, Bologna, Apollonia. The he was like a little jarring. He looked a little shiny, a little something. It wasn't really selling as like real compared when you see him fighting with David Cornsweat. But I thought that was all fine, and I'm the same. I'm like, yeah, okay, this is great. It's all good. Looks fine.
What about Rachel Brosnahan? How did you think she did at Lois Lane
Oh, man, she's great, man.
of the show? She was the perfect Lois Lane. Again, I don't want to compare. I didn't. You know, it's hard to not compare it to Man of Steel because it's the most recent. It's hard to not compare it to the original Superman movie because it's iconic. I think she was closer to the original, and I wasn't a big fan of Amy Adams as Lois Lane. Never really sold it to me. And I'm gonna at this point I'm gonna stop trying to stop comparing it to Man of Steel because I it's very clear I wasn't a huge fan of those movies, and so there's no reason for me to like dunk on them. You know what I mean? So and I'm
Yeah,
sure she did great.
that was the I mean, I'm the same. Amy Adams is fine, but she just looks sad and like, oh, what's happening to my baby?
And
I did like, and somebody brought this up, and I thought it was really good. It's like she wears pants this whole movie. Like she's just a hard hitting reporter in pants, and she is gorgeous. And if you haven't seen the what is it, Miss Maisel or whatever,
yeah. I haven't seen. I need to watch that.
see some good bits in that show, like the
She's
first
topless,
episode.
right?
I didn't say that.
What about Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor? This was the one character that I was skeptical about going into it. I wanted him to succeed because Nicholas Hoult auditioned for Batman, the Pattinson movie, and then didn't get it, and they auditioned for Superman in this movie and didn't get it. So I was like, I need this guy to succeed as Lex Luthor because that's like the perfect irony. Like I hate superheroes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it makes sense. I thought he did great, and I will say that I liked this version of Lex Luthor as, like, he's really smart, he's a genius, right?
Yeah,
He's
like crazy
ambitious.
smart.
Yeah, and he's like kind of fucking evil too. Well, I mean, not kind of,
Yeah.
he is.
He shot that
Like
dude in the head, man. That was like to me, that was jarring. I
that
was like,
was
"Oh,
jarring. I was
he is evil."
that was about even like hooking the dog up to like electrodes in his
Yeah.
brain was kind of messed
Yeah.
up. But the shooting the dude in the head was like a beat too far. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, that might be, and you can call me a pansy, you can call me a software. That was the most jarring part of the movie to me. I was just like, "What?"
Yeah, but he cares so little. He's like, yeah, it's Russian roulette, whatever. And he
Yeah,
just
and he's
killed
like,
him because he
"Oops."
was nice to him. You know this guy?
Yeah.
You picked him up out of a hole in the ground.
He's like, "Yeah, give me free food was." Alright. Boom. It's
Yeah.
like, "What?" And then I'm gonna jump from, like, and, there's always I think it's the perfect trope, and it doesn't make sense, and it doesn't have to make sense, like Lex Luthor not being able to figure out that Superman is Clark Kent, because then he
Mm,
says, "I'll
yeah.
kill Clark Kent next." I think that I like that about their dynamic. I'm glad that they included that. Even though it may not make sense in this world of, like, monsters and superheroes and pocket dimensions.
Yeah, I agree, and it's kind of it's just kind of funny because it makes sense in that he's probably seen I mean, how long has Clark been in Metropolis? He's probably seen maybe his thumbnail in the paper or
Yeah,
whatever, but I doubt that he's paying attention to this, like, reporter that much.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
to me,
Yeah,
it would make sense
and
that he doesn't know.
Clark's not a very good reporter, in my
Mhm.
opinion. He interviews Superman, which I thought was genius, but he's not, and, you have, the sports writer or whatever just, like, giving him shit about how he kinda sucks as a writer.
Yeah, that dude, I
So,
was
like
like, "Oh, the guy's funny. I love seeing him and stuff. I'm glad he got
yeah, so
this."
Superman's not even, like, a really good journalist. So I think that's great that of course, Lex Luthor is like, "Yeah, I saw that this dude wrote an article about you. I don't even know what the fuck he looks like."
Yeah.
Uh,
But I do what I was getting at is I like that he's all these things that Lex Luthor really is, except whatever crazy bullshit that Jesse Eisenberg did.
oh gosh. Yeah, like,
But
eccentric.
yeah, that's like weirdness. But I do like that he plays like a ultra sensitive snowflake man, and I think that that's exactly that makes so much sense. And I think that
Yeah, like,
anybody that got pissed
ego driven.
people that got pissed off about his characterization need to go look in the fucking mirror. You know what I mean? Like those are the people that just today, I saw a Jeep with a sticker on it where the J and the P were desert eagles. And I was like, that dude has definitely touched a penis. Like would deny it to the end of his day because there's nothing wrong with touching a penis if you want to.
There's nothing wrong with
But that's the kind of guy that did it and then called the other guy a slur or something and then
it.
like fights
Threaten to beat him up.
yeah, 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 and then, like, tries to ruin lives, that's the kind of person and that's the kind of person that Lex Luthor is, in my opinion, like, he is
Yeah.
just the worst.
Yeah, he's the worst. What do you think about the,
What up?
other heroes?
Oh,
We got the engineer from the Authority. We talked about the Justice Gang a little bit. We didn't talk about Hawk Girl. What'd you think about her?
I haven't watched that girl do anything.
Yeah, same, same. Huge fan. And that's what other yeah, huge fan. Try to keep it PC. Huge fan of anything she does. We talked about Mr. Terrific, which we will get into. Let's talk about right now. Eddie Gathetti. I
Eddie
think that's his name.
Cathetti?
I think that's his name.
That's a name for theater right there, I love it.
I think that's his
It's
name.
good for
I'm
credits.
sure.
Eddie Cathetti.
I said it. I'm sure I said it wrong. I was apprehensive. Mr. Terrific, if you're a longtime listener to the show, you know is one of my favorite comic book characters. Started as as most of my favorite characters do, as like a joke, and
Mm.
then I become like weirdly obsessed with it. It becomes
You're
like
like,
one
"Wait
of
a
my
second, this
actual,
guy's pretty fucking cool."
yeah, actually one of my favorite characters. And so I was kind of apprehensive. Like a lot of people don't know about him. This could be the chance of like make it. This is like a make it or break it moment. He's really good.
Mhm.
He becomes popular, or he sucks, and then people just like crap on him, and then he just becomes obscure, erased from history. And his history with being Darwin, another very cool character that got erased from history because the movie sucked so bad, and they killed a character that's a common joke on Twitter. They killed a character that can't be killed, and absolutely knocked it out of the park. Anytime he was on screen, I was smiling from ear to ear. People complain about
Yeah.
like the black exploitation and sort of like his mannerisms and like quote unquote, if he's a genius, he shouldn't be talking like that. And I'm like, that's something you need to look on the inside if you have a
Yeah.
problem with like
What do you mean talk like
associating,
what?
yeah, associating intelligence with certain vernacular. That's something that you need to reflect on. Anytime he was on screen, stole the show. I mean,
Yeah.
completely edge of my seat was like, this is the best character of the movie. Superman, and some people use it as like a discredit of Superman being sort of a background character, but the way I explained earlier, it's like it was more of like World of Superman rather than Superman the movie.
Yeah, and I think that so there's a game, there's a One Punch Man game, and you play as like a background hero against the shit that, the bad guys in the show. And you play as like Bicycle Man and you're fighting these bad
Mm.
guys. And the life bar, you just have to stay alive long enough for Punch Man to arrive because One
Oh,
Punch
I
Man
like
wouldn't
that.
be a fun he wouldn't be a fun character to play as. Right,
Damn, I
because
like
it's
that.
one punch. So the
I
game
like that
is
a lot.
funny because yeah, it's like the second character is him, and you just have to last long enough for him to kill this bad guy. And to me, that's kinda what Superman is. And not so much to that extreme, but, I liked seeing these extra characters build out the world without having, like you said, to go through origins after origins after origins. I don't give a shit about Mr. Terrific's origins right now. He's killing
Yeah.
it. There was only
But yeah, but I think that adds to it in my opinion. Like
Yeah,
knock it out of the park with his first appearance, and then people start caring. Then I wanna know more about it. There's so many people that have, like, hit me up wondering, like, "Yo, where can I read more about this?" I posted some panels afterwards. They're like, "What is this from? How can I get my hands on this?" And, like, to me, that is the best use of, like, comic book movies is to, like,
mhm,
reinforce the foundation. I saw there's a comic book shop called Jetpack Comics, and they posted something that was like, "Never, no multi-billion-dollar movie, MCU, DCU that has come out has brought in readers or people interested in comics as this movie has." And to me, it's like, and I know that personally because people have hit me up asking me about Superman recommendations, Mr. Terrific, and it's just like that is, in my opinion, is the point of these movies.
right. Yeah, and, the only thing so I agree, and I really enjoyed him. He was skinnier than I really like the Mr. Terrifics that I've seen before, but that didn't really mean anything. I've just read 1 or 2 comics, but the only thing I couldn't tell if it was because of his, like, makeup or his mask
Uh,
or if it was, like, the way he was supposed to be. Because he does mention, he's like, "If I cared anything about," sorry for that impression. "If I cared anything about human emotions," or whatever, he kind of says something along those lines, but he's kinda stiff, and it's almost like he's trying not to move too much so the glue doesn't pop off.
no,
Other than
I
that,
thought that
I
same thing too, but then I've seen behind the scenes footage and even, David Corenswet was like, no, he had full range of motion and was just trying to play this stoic as Mr. Terrific. Like, Michael Holt as Mr. Terrific is trying to play this stoic character. His origin story is tragic, so if it's gonna pay, I think it will have a payoff if you see that break, like, if you see his
Mhm.
stoicism. And then you learn about, like, his wife and kid dying in whether it be a series or a flashback in another movie, and then he breaks that, or if there's, like, an emotional beat where he does show emotion. I think the payoff, I really do think there's gonna be a payoff for that.
I see.
Sort of disassociating with human emotion.
Yeah. Either way, he was cool. I liked seeing that he didn't rely strictly on the technology. He still kicked people's ass without it.
Oh my god. I was so
Yeah.
glad that they did that. I'm so glad they just didn't make him when he showed up in the chair, I was like, "Oh, he's gonna be like fucking Charles Xavier, just the man, just like talking to people's heads and stuff." But then he kicked the shit out of all the dudes. I'm like, "This is great, man. It was everything I could hope for."
And I can't remember. You'll have to remind me. This is just kind of a different path here, but or a sidebar. What's the fair play on his? What does that mean? What's that about?
So it's a Justice Society character, a white guy from way back in the day, that when Mr. Terrific was trying to become, that was like his motto. This was just this
Mm.
guy from the Justice Society that just used to beat the crap out of people, and that was his motto, was fair play. And so when Spectre kind of influenced him to take up this mantle of this guy that beat up thugs because it's just like inner city type thing. That's the only thing he took from that guy is like
I see.
the fair play thing. And so and I could be, I haven't read that. It was Spectre 54 and it's been a long time since I've read that. But it ties into the original because it's like a mantle. It's a Justice Society
Yeah.
character.
The other day I texted you because I was playing trivia, by the way, about
Mm.
you were about an hour too late, but
Sorry, when was it? What day was this?
it was Thursday. I was texting you about the teen team, and I was like, Alexa's probably busy, but I might be able
I
to
was
catch him.
asleep. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
asleep.
I was like, maybe I'll catch him. Sorry if I woke you up. But it was comic book themed, and me and this other nerd helped win beer for the whole team. Nobody else knew
Damn.
anything. The only thing I got wrong
Damn.
was Lex Luthor because I thought it was too easy. I was like, no, that doesn't make sense. Like you know me, I'm skeptical as shit. And I think it's because people used to make fun of me a lot. So I'm like, nah, there's no way that you're being truthful with me right now. Like, anyway, that's deep seated. Like, I'll talk about that here. But anyway, yeah, they were like Superman's arch nemesis that is unbridled intelligence and
Mm,
or something. And I was like, well, it's not Lex. I mean,
too
the
easy.
yeah, it's
What'd you
way
say,
too easy.
Brainiac?
I said Brainiac. Of
Mm.
course, I was wrong, but we got like third place overall. I think some people were cheating. I say
And
that
let's talk.
because Go ahead. Sorry, that's it.
No, go ahead.
That's the end of that story. Oh, I was gonna say, I think so because Lex is an easy answer, but there was like it was like Captain America's. What was the project? It's like Project Rebirth, and then it was how many issues are in Calvin and Hobbes? I don't know. It was just a
Wow.
bunch of questions. That was a bonus question, but it's like, y'all shut the fuck up. Y'all are
Y'all don't know
cheating.
that. Yeah, you don't know that. What didn't work for you? We talked about the things that we loved in the movie. What didn't work for you in this movie?
What didn't work? I think there were a few parts like when the country is going to invade the other country that felt a little too bright and sunny for that kind of thing. It felt
Yeah,
really
yeah, yeah.
small. It felt like a small set. I didn't love that, but I thought it was fine. I mean, it was serviceable. Don't get me wrong. It felt like a stage plays though. Play.
I agree.
What else? The president of what was it? Bargovia? Blavovia?
Bravia.
Broflovsky?
Bravia.
That one felt it was like, who is this person? And they
He was
really seemed
cartoonish.
to yeah, centered a lot on him. I thought Lex was gonna pull off a mask like
I
Mission
said it. I said
Impossible.
it. I leaned over to my wife and I said, "That's Lex Luthor." But then they showed him next to each other, and I was like, "Oh, it's not."
Yeah.
And I think there were some pacing not problems. There were some parts where I was like, "How far is Metropolis?" And this is stupid, but it's like, "How far is Metropolis from Kansas?"
Yeah.
There was like some parts where it's like Lois takes Superman back to Kansas. And this is stupid. This is not like an actual problem. This is just me like overthinking in the when I'm thinking about it. Takes
Uh-huh.
them back to Kansas. Then they spend a couple days in Kansas. But then also, there's also like this event going on in Bravia. There's also this pocket dimension split. And it's like all these things kind of happening. And I'm like, what? Where are we at? There was a moment where I was like, hold on, stop. What's happening?
Yeah, that all did kind of coincide quickly.
Yeah, it just kind of like that kind of sequence of events just happened it kind of rushed. But I don't really think it was a pacing issue. I just think that it was just a lot at once.
Mhm. Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah, I can see that.
One complaint that I had is that I think the engineer was kind of like a waste of a character.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, I don't know anything about this character, and I still don't know anything about this
Yeah,
character.
it could have easily been like Lex Luthor's assistant Mercy. They could have
That's what
made
I
they could
thought
they could have
until
did
he
like the
called her the
robotic.
engineer.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
could have did the robotic Mercy, and it would have been exactly the same movie. I think everyone knew that Ultraman was gonna be a clone of Superman. There was a
Mhm.
small glimmer of hope that it was Henry Cavill underneath the mask, though.
Yeah, I kinda thought it might be, which I'm
And
glad
he
they
kinda looked
didn't.
like him. Kinda looked like him,
Yeah.
though. The way they did his hair.
I'm really glad they didn't because that would have been just confusing, but
Yeah.
it would have been kind of a fun little thing. As someone who hates that, Like,
Yeah,
I'm
I
not a
do
fan of
too.
that shit anymore.
I do
It
too.
would have been kind of fun. But
It
I
would
mean,
have been
yeah,
fun if,
we
and
all
especially
knew.
they couldn't have done the clone thing. They could have it would have been like a since we
Different
had this
universe,
pocket
like the
dimension, we found this. Yeah, we found a Superman in this pocket universe. And they also didn't explain that white alien driver, Mister Handsome or whatever his name was.
yeah, yeah, nothing. And I don't know what
Nothing.
anything about that either.
Not that that's a problem. It just was random.
Is there any history to that character, or is it just a
I have no idea. No, I thought it was like a failed Lex clone, but then I also thought it could be a white Martian. So I don't know.
that's what somebody I saw somebody else say that, or maybe it was you. The only other thing, I don't know, the Metamorpho, which is weird that they didn't call him that.
They didn't.
I didn't like his shorts,
Yeah,
but
I
I
thought it
thought
was
he
kind of
was
funny.
yeah, I liked him. The baby, his son thing. It would be nice to get a little bit of an explanation
Yeah, that
because
was
he's
random as
just a
hell.
dude, right? Like I don't understand what this is.
Yeah,
I
he's
thought
just a
he was
dude.
just a guy that got transformed into that.
Yeah, and
So
his
I don't
wife
know
is just
what.
a regular lady.
So I guess maybe that's what happens when a dude that looks like that has a baby.
Yeah, yeah. When
Um,
you don't keep it, when you don't keep the
he was
bloodline
great.
pure, man, that's what happens.
So that was the only other part that was a little jarring CG wise, I think, or the only part that really stuck out to me is when he was in Bravodia and I'm just gonna keep saying it wrong, but I can't also remember what you said. Bravia? That doesn't sound right. That's a
Bravia.
Sony television. That's a Sony TV.
I thought it was Bravia. I could be wrong.
I thought it was Bolovia, the first thing I said.
It's
Let me look.
Boravia. Baravia?
BOR?
Baravia?
Yeah, that sounds right. Boravia. Yeah, that sounds right. Let's see. What was I gonna say? When they're fighting there and Metamorpho's there and has a hammer or whatever, to me that was a moment that was kind of jarring. It didn't look right. But I mean, I don't know how you make that look right. So
Yeah, that's true. He's kind of a random ass character. Let's do a quick. I don't want to talk about. We all know about the controversies surrounding the Superman movie, so let's do a quick hit. There's a few things that.
hold on, let me ask you one more
Go ahead.
question.
Okay.
Did it did it bother you at all? Like, and I'm asking because it didn't me. I liked the POV, but did it bother you like the hot girl POV and she's screaming and doing all that shit? I
No.
heard some people complain about that, but I
About
don't.
her like hawk scream?
Yeah, yeah.
No. No, I thought it was great. I thought it was funny.
I
It's
liked
like, what
it
do
too.
you she's like, what do you add? You have to add something to that character. Like she didn't have a lot. That's one complaint that I have is, but you're also in a movie with so many things going on at once. Like you can't add so much to everyone. These are all like setups for other things, which I know can be exhausting. But if this is the kickstart the new universe, you kind of have to expect it, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I don't it would not have been a better movie if they did it like Iron Man where it just is about him and they mention
yeah,
other characters.
and then the end credit scene
So,
was like I don't know, somebody popping in, Mr. Terrific coming in saying he has a
yeah.
that would have been lame.
Hey man, let me talk
And
to you about the Justice Kick-Ass team.
let's go. There's controversies. Quick hit, and I want to know. I'm going to list all the ones that I have, and I want to know what you think about all of them. So obviously, we talked about the Snyder cut. Those guys hate the movie just off of principle alone because it's not their favorite sports team. We talked about that enough. But there's a political allegory. Obviously, there are people that the invasion that Baravia. Now I'm saying it wrong. And Jahanpur. Is that what the other place is
Yeah,
called?
something like that.
Their conflict, obviously anti-Israel, pro-Palestine. That was a big problem. People were talking about it was woke, which is a huge problem that Fox News and stuff. They were running with it being like this woke movie, and they didn't want Superman to be woke. And it's just like I really hate because the counter argument was like Superman is woke, but it's like Superman's not really woke. He's like the term woke came from people that weren't up with the times, right? They weren't aware with the injustices going on in the world, and then they were being awoken to these things that are happening and then joining the cause. Superman's always been that. He's always been about the people. So he's not really woke. He's just like kindness and like being a decent person isn't woke. It's just like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
a
Woke is
normal thing.
yeah, and I even thought like woke is not just being awake. It's like stay woke, like stay aware, like
Yeah,
pay
yeah,
attention.
yeah.
Which again, that's his whole deal. That's what he does. So that's dumb. The political allegory, it's just like Daredevil. Like if that's what you're seeing, that's a you thing because
It's true. It's your thing.
these things have existed within these comics
Forever.
in one way or another forever. So, I don't know. That's how do you get bigger than like a fucking country invading another country for
Yeah.
Superman? Like that's how you
They
make it
added yeah.
relative.
Then they added the part of like Lex Luthor wants his own country, which is like, why does he want it? He's a gazillionaire. He's like because again back to his ego because he wants his thing. He wants to be able to say he did it.
Mhm.
Another controversy was the creative choices. A lot of people are really upset with. We talked about the Ma and Pa Kent, but they're also really upset about Jor-El and Laura's intent on sending him to Earth to conquer. And some people are just like really taken aback by it, and they are just offended that that's what they sent him there for. And in my opinion, man, like I just watched My Adventures with Superman, that cartoon show, and that's like
Mhm.
the same thing. So maybe for me, it wasn't as much as maybe a general audience has a different opinion on it, but I feel like it's not a new concept for Superman. It's not that jarring. It's a different story. Like if we just repeat the same stories over and over, we'd have nothing new, then that would be another complaint.
Yeah, I agree. I think that well, no, that's what some people want, man. They don't want to think at all, like at
Yeah.
all. I think that that's one of my favorite things about James Gunn's movies is like Guardians of the Galaxy. He changed all these characters, and I don't know what the exact like when Marvel approached him to make this, like how much was already thought out beforehand. But I know that he changed a lot of these characters to Star Lord wasn't like that
Yeah, at all.
before,
No, he's kind
and
of a dickhead.
how he is.
Yeah, now he is in the comics. In every iteration that you see, he's like that.
Yeah, so I appreciate when there's a little bit of a different spin on the origins of a character, and it makes sense. Like that's the theory about aliens in general. It's like if aliens are anything like humans, they would be coming here to take all our shit.
Yeah.
They would
Resource
come in
gathering,
and
yeah.
take all of our minerals and everything. Yeah, and then leave. So I think it makes a lot of sense. And I loved that he loved his parents and he found that and this message was just so amazing for him. And then she decoded the rest. I did think that it was gonna be like a fake thing because he found like, he's like linguistic experts that figured out what they said. It's like, do they have enough to work with? I don't know. But I mean, and you're working by sounds. Like writing language is different. That's what they had the shit. Um, what's the tablet called that they had to help translate languages? It's a fucking app. What is it called?
Hmm, I don't know.
The one that
I'm
helps
also
you learn a
drawing a
language.
blank. Duolingo?
A Rosetta Stone. No, the Rosetta Stone. What did you say? Duolingo.
I
Yeah,
said
same thing.
Duolingo.
Duolingo is a sexual position. But yeah, the Rosetta Stone. So anyway, sorry. That feels implausible to me. But maybe I don't know shit about linguistics. So
Yeah.
but I like that. I thought it was a great misdirect. So get over it.
So, final thoughts, man. Are you excited for the future of the DCU? Do you think I do feel like it was not an overcorrection, but it felt like, okay, we're definitely going in this completely opposite direction of what we got before. And I think it needed
Mhm.
to. And I think for the people that think it
Yeah.
was too campy, I think it might even out afterwards. And like, I don't expect Batman to be like this. Quick thoughts, real
No.
quick, before we get final thoughts. Some people say Pattinson as the Batman in DCU. Some people say no. What do you think?
I could kind of see it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's realistic, but it still feels cartoonishly
Yeah.
decrepit.
Yeah, yeah,
But I
yeah.
feel like it could work.
Either I can go either way. I think it would be fine if he was in it, but I could also see like a new. I think it could go. That's what I think is so perfect about this movie is that you really could slot in that and make it work. You could slot in that
Yeah.
Pattinson universe and make it work. And I don't say that. I'm not saying that it needs it. Either of them need it, but I think you could if you it would be fine.
Because even Batman, when it was like in the daytime, it was it was a little dour, but it's still pretty bright. And the Penguin,
Yeah,
still pretty bright.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I could see it. I think Batman is just, it's hard to put him with Superman, in my opinion, other than comic books, because he's either the detective, like he's just always in this kind of like grungy, it's just a different
I
kind
just
of
don't
vibe.
wanna see them I just don't wanna see them fight, man. I wanna see them be best friends. I don't wanna see them, like, their first interaction is like, "I hate him because he's alien." That's like I know that happened in the
Yeah.
cartoon, but I just don't wanna see that. I wanna see them be the world's finest. I don't wanna see
I
Batman
can
versus
see him.
Superman.
Yeah, he would be skeptical, but he wouldn't have to kill him or anything.
Yeah.
I think, though, with Pattinson, he doesn't have friends at all. So maybe after the first movie, he's changed a little bit,
Well,
but
I
I
think
don't
I
know.
like that. I like that he doesn't have any friends at all, and then Superman is just, like, ultra corny, and then, like, the clash between those 2, I think could be interesting. I don't think it's needed at all. I'm fine I could be fine either way. Final thoughts, though, Simon, what do you think? You excited about the future of the DCU?
Sure, yeah, I'm really excited. I mean, just getting a taste of, to some people, what might be a really minor character that you've never heard of before with
Mhm.
Mr. Terrific. Like you could tell that James Gunn really wanted to start with a Mr. Terrific movie, but there was like no way
Yeah,
he could.
yeah.
I think just seeing that and how exciting it made him as a character, yeah, I'm pretty jazzed about the rest of it. I don't know. I mean, just as a secondary thought, I don't know about Supergirl as I don't know if that's the next movie.
I think it is. I think,
If
Lanterns,
if they
the show
Yeah.
is next, and then I think, Supergirl's after that.
Is it the Woman of Tomorrow? Didn't you say that's, or isn't that supposed to be the storyline that they're kind of going with?
Yeah, yeah,
If so,
yeah.
that's cool. Because that was
Yeah,
a badass story. Anyway, I
I
mean,
agree.
just that the way that they made her in there. It was funny seeing that dog like just slam her on the ground. Like that's what two
Oh my gosh.
invulnerable thing. That's great. I love it.
I thought it was perfect. I did think it was perfect. I loved that. Oh, one thing I didn't mention on things that I thought was like didn't work for me is that the end credit scenes. I was like, damn. The end credit scene was the Supergirl thing, but they put it in the movie, which was fine. I guess
Mm.
they really wanted people to see it. They didn't want anybody to like skip it, uh, so it's fine. But the end credit scene, I was like, I hate that I sat here for 13 minutes.
I kind of appreciate that though, and I will say this.
I did afterwards, but
Yeah,
at the
going
time, I was
forward,
like, what the fuck, man?
don't make people stay after credits.
Yeah,
Yeah, going forward, I was the same way. I was like, well, that's cute, but
yeah,
they've created a precedent. We don't have to
yeah.
stay after credits.
Yeah, for sure. I like that too. It's kind of like a, hey, this is a new thing. We're not doing this. We're not leading into the next thing.
Yeah, mid credits are fine. Let's just do a mid credit scene if we're
Yeah,
gonna do
I
it.
agree. I agree.
Overall, yeah, go
Yeah,
see it
I'm
if
excited
you
for the
haven't.
future. I'm excited about the love that Mr. Terrific got. I think David Corn's what blew me away. I didn't think he was going to do as well as he did. Every character in this was great. Huge fan. Can't wait to see what they do next. Yeah, we want to know what you guys think also. So hit us
Yeah,
up and let us know.
don't come in here crying now. We don't want to hear all that.
Yeah, it's
Differing
fine if you do.
opinions are fine, but don't.
You'll just you'll just get ignored. We're circling the drain though, Sam. Let us know where the people can find you.
No, I was like, yes, we are circling the drain. You can find me on Instagram at Simon on Toast. SIM_ON_TOAST. And that's it. That's all where I'm gonna be at.
And you can find me Wednesday Pull everywhere. And next week will be a Fantastic Four replay, followed by a Fantastic Four. If Simon sees it, Fantastic Four review the week after that. So
Yeah, okay. I want to go watch it.
more movie.
Fantastic foreskins.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
See ya.